You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show.
Hello everybody, Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another after show for E's Keeping Up with the Kardashians Season 8, Episode 5, I Will Fix You. I'm Jason Ikeler, and joining me as always
is Danica Kennedy.
Keaton is out tonight because her parents are in town, so she's ditching us for them. We're okay though, we'll be alright. Let's hop right into it. So, we've got more issues with Rob. Rob's life has kind of spun out of control.
Poor thing.
Exploded.
He's in a bad place emotionally.
Like a really bad
now.
place. So he walks in and he tells Kim she's got fat feet, which if you've seen the pictures, she does. But kind of rude to say to your pregnant sister.
And of all people to call people out,
I know.
He shouldn't be
Pot
the one.
calling the kettle fat.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's why he did it. He's like, oh, I can get away with it. No one else can.
He's like, well, I'm fat, so it takes fat to know fat.
They'd have matching cankles together.
Oh my God.
They're never going to come on our show if I keep saying things like that.
If they talk about his weight, we can talk about it too. I think that's what makes
Yes.
it okay. So we find out Rob's been lying to Khloe and to Kris about basically everything. And he's lying about like hiding string cheese. Khloe will like knock on his door in the middle of the night and he's like, don't come in, I'm jacking off. Or he'll lie about like, I don't know, anything.
And I have a theory to go along with that. Well, a possible theory, because they keep talking about his late night binging in the middle of the night, his sneaking Pop-Tarts in the room and all that. And even though he claims to run every morning, I think that he's a stoner. I think that he's smoking weed and he's hiding it in his room. So he says like, oh, I'm jacking off. You can't come in here. I'm hiding Pop-Tarts because I'm,
That would
hungry.
actually make a lot of sense though, because the way he's like, he doesn't like worry about anything. He's just very chill and loves to like, he woke up that one morning and was eating leftover In-N-Out.
And he's a jokester too.
I bet
He's
that's
laughing
right.
and stuff. I think he's a stoner.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's my theory to go along
Well,
with
so
the weight
then
gain and everything.
he says he was going on a run, which I also find hard to believe. But his car got towed. So he calls his sisters and is like, hey, my car got towed, come pick me up. And nobody believes him, which is really funny, actually.
Well, he's the boy that cried wolf. It's like, even if that did happen, if you keep lying about everyone and everything you do, then no one's going to believe you when you actually do need help.
Well, and I think that his sisters aren't like, they feel bad for him, but not in the way that like, oh, I'm going to come get you. It's like, okay, figure it out. You're a grown adult.
I think they're
he still
right,
lives with his older
though.
sister. I agree. I'm completely on
At
team.
that age, if something happens to your car, you should be able to call AAA on your own, pull out the card from your wallet, and like take a cab home and figure it out.
Well, and I'm sorry too, you grew up in LA. If you live in LA, there's like parking signs everywhere that like you can only, I got a $63 parking ticket on Friday. Not
and
happy
you get
about it.
used to it when you start living here
so
too,
you
because
check
you don't want to get
signs
them.
because your car can get towed and it's a part of living here.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can't afford a cab.
No.
So suck it up, Rob. So then he gets home and he's upset because nobody believes him. And they go outside to check if he really did take a cab because they're like, no, I bet he didn't do that.
And he did.
Which is funny.
What did he say it got towed for? It was because he parked in a street sweeping area, right?
I think so.
That's so stupid though, because those are everywhere you park in LA. It's a certain day and you just read the signs, so it's like,
Well, also he says he goes running in Sherman Oaks. Marissa, Do you ever see him?
I have not, no.
Because you run around here. We're in Sherman Oaks, kind of, Encino.
Does he still live in the Calabasas territory? I don't know where he lives.
I don't know, because I feel like where they say the houses are on the show aren't actually where they're at.
They probably live in like Beverly Hills or something.
But
that area.
That'd be interesting to find. We should go running one morning and look for him.
In Sherman Oaks.
Hey, Rob.
He can't do running. Yeah, he has to lose more weight before he gets that mainstream where all the other celebs are running around with their chihuahuas.
So funny. So Rob, turning the page in my notes. Not Rob. Kim and Courtney talked to Kris when they're furniture shopping, which is kind of funny because Kim's taking pictures of all of the furniture in the store to text to Kanye. And they tell Kris that maybe she should see a therapist to talk to Rob. Which
I think that's a good idea.
It's kind of weird, though, to see, like, Rob's the depressed one. So, like, you should see a therapist because your son's depressed.
It's weird,
it's
though.
Like first world problems.
I know, right? It's like to get him through it. But the therapist was right what he had to say. He said, you can't make someone not be depressed. It's their choice, and it's what's there going on in their head. So it's like, what is she going to do about it? She's just emotionally crying, Kris, you know, and making it worse almost.
Well, it's kind of funny because he almost reminds me of like a high schooler who graduated and then doesn't know what they're doing with their lives. But he went to college and then he was going to do the whole business thing, and then now he's kind of doing like a sock line, we think. But he just seems like all he does is eat.
I swear
it's the weed.
Stoning.
It might
be. Stoning it up. That's what I think. But I feel really bad for him, though, because as a woman, you know, my weight fluctuates quite a bit here and there. You know, I've had my porkier times, and you feel horrible.
Porkier times.
Yeah, you know, chub it up a little bit here and there. It happens. And you feel awful.
Yeah.
And, like, especially in this industry, if you're doing hosting or acting, you know, I've heard the whole, like, oh, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too everything. But when you're in the spotlight as much as them, he's probably getting so many fat jokes thrown at him and things all the time.
But at the same time, he's calling Kim out for being fat, too. So it's like, if he was really hurting from that, he wouldn't be doing that. And at the same time, too, I think he's almost to the point where it's unhealthy. So, which makes it more dangerous because he's eating all the time and not like, I don't know.
He's eating like straight up horrible food too, like Pop-Tarts and In-N-Out,
your body
animal
changes
fries.
Like when you grow older, but he used to be like ripped and, you know.
I feel like he used to be really into working out and staying tan and his tattoos and everything.
Because didn't he used to work out with Lamar even?
Yeah, they used to play basketball together in episodes, and now we just see him in the kitchen with that big tub of cookies that I'm always like, are those prop cookies?
They always have food in their house.
They do, and they always have like cookies and pastries out on their counter, and I'm like, there's no way they can be eating that all the time.
I couldn't deal because if there's food there, I'll eat it.
It would be gone. Like, that wouldn't last in my house. I couldn't even have a candy jar because it would never have any candy in it.
I know. I bought like chocolate covered pretzels the other night, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat these over the week. I ate the whole bag in one setting because I just can't.
It's like OCD. So you gotta clean the plate and just get rid of it.
So Rob gets into more trouble. So this wasn't really covered on this show, but the story was I don't know if he was out running or doing something, but a paparazzi tried to take his picture, and it was on private property.
Wait, Robert.
Yeah, Robert.
Right.
What did I say?
I think you said Lamar, but I might have gotten confused.
Robert. So paparazzi tries to take his picture, and I think what happened was he took the camera, but they were on private property, so
they didn't specify if he stole it from the photographer or
I think
broke
maybe he just
it,
took the SIM card out of it or something.
Which I don't think is a big deal. I feel like that's a pretty normal way to respond to someone taking pictures that isn't supposed to be there.
Well, and I feel like if you're like, hey, please don't take my picture, then they should respect that. Because it's not like he's, I don't know, like if he's going to an event or in like...
Yeah. He's
Beverly
not at
Hills
Starbucks
or somebody, but like he's
yeah.
on a run. It's not like he's doing something to, I don't know. I'm kind of on his team for that one.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have done that.
He's like, I don't want any pictures of me running around all tubby like this.
I know.
Jiggling around. I'm just kidding.
I don't know why he doesn't go to the gym with the trainer. But he has to go to jail, check in at the courthouse, and he shows up in sweatpants and like it was like a black sweater with a gold zipper up the side, which was a little hood, but I kind of liked it. But what did Lamar say? He's like, you look like you're already in jail.
He did. Sweatpants are all that fits him right now.
Sweatpants are all that fits me right now. What's in these bars?
He's having too many Caltoon bars.
He's had way
We
too
found the
many.
problem.
Somebody needs to make a video of that, comparing the two.
Someone's going to make some memes now and blow it
That'd
up.
be so good. So we find out that his lawyer gets him off of the charges. They didn't really say how, but I guess they have a really good lawyer. So good for you, Rob. So Rob calls Kris and he's like, Mom, I'm not going to jail. And she breaks down because she's so happy and so sad at the same time. So that's when she
starts
actually
crying.
goes to the therapist. And he says, you got to have faith in yourself and in Rob. And he needs to. I think they're being a little too dramatic about it. Like, he's fat. Cut him some slack, right?
Yeah, and just because everyone else has like 5 clothing lines in the family doesn't mean that he has to too. I think it's fine if he's, they can't all be the biggest star in the family.
But I think they're almost the problem too, because how old is Rob?
I want to say he's like 26.
That's what I was going to say. I think 26.
around
He's
the
still
same?
living with his older sister. He's still, you know what I mean? Like, get it together, Rob. They're causing the problem, I think.
He's one of the only kids I think he is the only kid in the family with a college degree too, right? Or did
Courtney went to college.
Courtney went to college too, but I think it's funny that the ones that didn't go to school are the ones that are
the most successful.
raking in
But
the
they're
most
also
dough.
the ones that like hustle. And he doesn't hustle. And I think if I was his family, I would say like, no, you have to go out and you have to get a crappy apartment because that's all you can afford. And then find a way to make it work.
He needs to build up
like,
that work ethic.
He's living in a mansion with his sister, and he's got a good life. Why would he want to work?
Yeah, if you're used to everyone paying for everything for you, he can get suits and whatever he wants and live in that nice house. I would be lazy too.
Well, and Courtney even said that to her mom, like, you just tried to go through quick fixes where he's like, I don't have any clothes, so I'll buy you a suit. And then she thinks that'll solve the problem. But I think the problem is he's lazy.
Well, that's the problem, is you can't just cover everything up with money, and he does obviously have some emotional issue.
Yeah,
that's probably
but I
tied
think
to
it's
the
probably
weight
because
gain and everything.
yeah, because if you're not doing anything, like, in summer when like you're like off in between college or something, like you don't want to work out because you're sleeping in all day. Like, you'd rather just get up and eat and watch TV. Whereas if you're going to work every day, then it's easier when you're on a set schedule to exercise and eat healthy, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. You have to be up and about and doing things to make yourself get up and do things.
So Kris goes to Rob and she's like, hey, I want you to see this therapist. And he refuses. So I don't really know what's going to happen because he needs to do something. Which I know he's done in the last couple weeks, a couple appearances around LA and Vegas promoting his sock line. But, like,
That's good.
how much work does it really take to do a sock line? Even look at, like, Kendall and Kylie are doing so much.
I think that he should have different socks that go with the different sizes of cankles that are coming out in the family.
Cankle
like
socks.
slimming, almost like Spanx, but for cankles. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like high class.
Kim could have used those. Because you saw some of her footwear.
Yeah,
when
with
she was...
some of those. Well, she didn't wear the right shoes for pregnant women most of the time. Stilettos don't always work for pregnancy.
And the shoes she wore were like so intense that, like, I think even a normal girl who wasn't pregnant, they were like, I don't know.
They're meant for the runway.
Yeah, the straps were like so tight, like they're not like very wearable.
Yeah, it's like tying rubber bands around your feet.
So maybe Rob, make some cankle socks. There you go. We've got a career for you.
Yep.
We want to remind everybody listening to go to serialbuddies.com, and there are links to download Serial Buddies, a movie made by everybody here at AfterBuzz, and it's got a ton of great people in it. Maria Menounos, Beth Bears, Two Broke Girls, Kathy Lee Gifford, and all of the money that you spend on that goes back into AfterBuzz, so we can keep giving you these amazing podcasts for free. And it's how we keep the lights on in here. So by you doing that, A, you're going to get a hilarious movie, and B, you get to keep watching us. So
Who
it's
doesn't
like,
want that?
I know. There's really no losing. So serialbuddies.com, and you can go there spelt like the killer or the cereal. Kind of fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you can type it in either way?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
we've got you covered. So if you don't know how to spell it those two other ways, just Google it. It's not that hard. But now let's talk about Kendall and Kylie.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of interesting dynamic because we've never really seen them not get along, and they're fighting this whole episode. But it's very normal. They're
they
high school
always
girls. That's
focus on them as being like a set, like the two of them together. And I've always felt kind of bad for Kylie because she has, you know, the 3 older sisters that are doing so much, and then Kendall's doing all this modeling stuff, and she has that perfect model body, and then she's the youngest and she hasn't really done anything yet. Not to say that she's like the Rob of the younger group of
but I
Jenners.
think Kylie's personality is more like Khloe.
Yeah.
And I think that's why her and Khloe get along so well, because they can relate to not being like, I don't know, because Kendall's I think Kendall's going to have a huge, Kendall's very career oriented, and Kylie's just a young kid and wants to have fun.
I feel like Kendall's more like Kim and Kylie's more like Khloe.
Yep. But I think I was happy to see Kylie in acting classes because she's got like such a fun personality that I think she could actually be a really successful actress.
That's why I enjoyed this episode showing what she was doing and that she was getting into acting, because none of the other ones have really done acting. I mean, they've done little things here and there. Not
Did you see
serious
Temptation?
Acting. No, I didn't.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
I heard it was horrible.
It's
which
worth
makes
seeing,
me
though.
want to watch it now.
It's so good, but it's so bad. But I think Kylie could actually be, because I mean she's grown up with cameras around, so I'd like being comfortable in front of a camera obviously isn't going to be an issue.
I kind of felt bad for her with the whole sibling rivalry thing in this episode, because Kendall does treat her like she's below her.
But it's also like she's like gonna be 16, and she's running already like this whole empire. That her and Kendall now are working on a clothing line, and they're trying to do all this other stuff. So she has so much pressure on her, and she just wants to be a normal kid. And I think that's normal to like sit there and want to text and not have a photo shoot at all times, you know?
They're so busy all the time. I really hope that they turn out fine. I mean, we've been watching all these like Amanda Bynes, Lindsay Lohan craziness.
I think they probably will, because it's not like somebody like Amanda Bynes where she's the only lady that knows what she's dealing with. Their whole family is dealing with it all, so it's kind of just like she has 3 other sisters that are just as famous. Her mom is just as famous. So I think they'll actually grow up a lot more normal.
They're used to being in the spotlight. So.
But it's not like it's just like all this pressure's on them. It's their whole family.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like in it together.
I like that the younger 2 are getting into talents.
I do too.
Because the other ones are just kind of famous for keeping up with the Kardashians mainly. But I think that Kendall's going to have a really strong career in fashion. I think she's the prettiest Kardashian
I think so
in the
too.
family.
And she's taking it seriously too. Like she doesn't want to do the swimsuit line because she wants to only do high-end stuff. And I think that's such a smart move too, because I think that's what a lot of like models don't cross over between the two, you know?
She does seem very high fashion too. I think it fits her. Like she's very sleek.
Yeah, she's got that
and
look.
That runway kind of tall, lanky body.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, even those pictures they were showing in the beginning, she looks so good.
Amazing. Yeah, even if she didn't have the whole Kardashian name backing her, I think she could easily get work just based off her look. But I hope that we keep seeing her face pop up over the next, 10 years everywhere. I'm sure we will.
This show's on for at least, 17 more years?
I know, right?
It's
going to be on for like... We'll still be here wrapping it up. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, season 50.
We'll like walk in on our walkers. It'll be perfect. So Khloe takes Kylie driving, and Kylie kind of lets out that her and Kendall aren't getting along and she needs a break. And Kylie ends up ditching Kendall to go to sushi with her friend, which sucks, but I don't know. I have 4 kids in my family, and it's like I don't want to hang out with my siblings all the time either, especially when you're in high school. When my little sister would try to tag along, I'd get so annoyed.
Well, and they even said that Kendall always wants to leave early or doesn't want to come, so
but I think that's probably because she takes modeling so seriously too. Like, oh, I have a shoot tomorrow, I can't do that.
I would be annoyed if I had a sister that was around me all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an only child, so I don't even think I could handle my friends hanging out with me that much. I wouldn't know what to do.
God, I don't want siblings.
Why are you following me?
So they get in another fight because Kendall wants to go skiing, and she takes Kylie's snow pants. And so that was like my favorite part of the episode, where Khloe's kind of mediating and they're calling. And Khloe's like, those are your effing, Kylie's like, I gotta go, I gotta pee. And Khloe says, so effing pipe in your white snow pants and you little bitch or something. It's so funny.
Yeah. And then she just hung up, pee in your little white snow pants, you bitch. And then just like clink. Okay.
I love that. Because they're so dramatic, but that's exactly, because we haven't really seen the sisters fight as much as they used to. But they used to get into it on the show. Like
They used to
season
be
1, they used
bad.
to be horrible, but so fun.
I remember they used to like tackle each other while they're in dresses and heels and try to like rip each other's extensions
Like physical,
out.
It was like Jersey Shore style fighting.
Now that's never happening.
Well, I guess, I mean, it's kind of good. They're all like married with kids now, so at least they've grown up a little bit.
Except Khloe still tackling the younger sisters even though she's married.
Or when she was like skipping
on.
around too, I just love her. She's so fun.
We need to get her in here. She'd
I
be
would
fun.
die. I would be so happy. So Kendall and Kylie get in another fight because Kylie and all of her friends leave out dirty dishes. All their fights are very normal. Like, yes, they're at photo shoots while they're doing them, but it's like very normal high school. You know what I mean?
I feel
They're
like
just-
they've
they're
made
just
it very realistic this whole season about the whole family issues,
Yeah.
dealing with death and everything going on in the family, you know, the cheating rumors and everything, which it wasn't always like that. Usually it's been more Kim, Khloe, Kourtney focused in
Yeah.
every episode and just their photo shoots and their drama. So I kind of like that they're switching it up, but I also am like, oh, I miss Khloe. I want to see
Yeah.
her more.
I think though maybe because Lamar doesn't want to do the show as much.
Probably.
And
It's
so I
always
think
the guys.
Yeah, I think that's maybe why Chloe's held back a little bit too, because she's been in every episode, but it's not really been about her.
Same with Kim. She's in a lot of them, but it's not about
Yeah.
her, and it's probably because the whole Kanye situation,
Yeah,
which
Which-
I want him to be on the show.
I know. Well, and I wonder too, like what will happen now that she has the baby, because she said that they don't want the kid on the show.
That's going to be weird. It's almost like they're going to either have to just stage her in there, which is probably what they're already doing, is staging everything.
It's a fake baby on the
fake.
show.
They have like a doll in the corner, pretend it's them.
But I know they've signed on. There's at least 2 or 3 more years of this show, and I'm sure it'll get renewed again. So she's like contractually has to do it. But
Well, I noticed that Kourtney and Scott's kids are barely in this season at all. Like in this episode, they're talking in their kitchen and when they're hiking
and then
and
they go on the
stuff,
hike,
and
yeah.
they don't show the kids ever in the last
but
few
then like
episodes.
Courtney and Kim Take Miami, it was all about the kids.
Yeah, when Mason was first born, whatever season that was, like a few seasons back, I feel like he was in it nonstop,
Yeah.
and it was almost about him.
I
And
wonder
now
if
they don't
that's-
even really show him that much.
Do you think Kim is kind of influencing Courtney? Like, oh, Kim's not going to show her baby on TV. Maybe I should do the same.
Maybe. It probably has something to do with it. I feel like being raised in the spotlight alone is probably tough, but to have a reality show documenting your
Yeah.
entire childhood. Like, I went through some awkward phases that I'm very glad were not on television.
Oh, for sure. But I
when
think
I
at the
was
same
growing
time,
up.
like, they're not going to have a normal childhood because everything that. Think about if you had to watch things that your parents did.
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be so weird growing up, like, oh, this is when my mom and dad got in a fight. And you can, like, go back and relive it.
Especially when it's like, oh, here's mommy on Playboy, and here's mommy's sex tape, and
Here's
lists like
mommy's
that.
first marriage.
Yeah, but it was her marriage for 72 hours. Here's her other one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they turn out. I actually feel like, though, they, like, are all good parents. Like, even though they're kind of crazy, like, you never hear about the Kardashians getting into drugs or, you know, like...
They have a good,
like
strong family.
And they have a good work ethic.
Even though they have their crazy moments. A lot of people think that they're kind of, you know, slutty and edgy and stuff. I don't think they're that crazy,
I don't think they're that crazy either.
I think they're, like, a very nice, close family that
They're
sticks
very wholesome.
together. They're
It's like
very
the Brady
wholesome.
Bunch of 2013.
Yeah, it should be on ABC Family, really. Let's get real.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine?
I would love it. So Kendall and Kylie work everything out at the trampoline house. They hug it out and then they're friends again.
You
But I
have
think-
to be happy if you're in that place.
Oh my god, that looks so fun. There was Amanda Bynes went to one of those like trampoline houses, so now I want to go so bad.
So now you want to do whatever Amanda Bynes does? Is
Always.
that what?
She's
Should
my
we
role
be
model.
worried or
Maybe.
a little bit?
I think it's if I come in with my cheeks pierced next week, start worrying.
Then we'll start giving you a reality show and wrapping that up.
Perfect. We want to remind everybody to log on to iTunes and rate and comment and subscribe to our Keeping Up with the Kardashians podcast and leave us 5 stars and let us know what you think. There's lots of comments and things, but they're from the seasons before and all of the ratings. And we're new hosts, so we would like your comments and ratings so then they come onto our show. And comment on YouTube. We reply. It's lots of fun. And also, you can now go to AfterBuzzTV.com. We've got a brand new website, and we post pictures from the shows for the topics that we talk about, and you can go back. Everything's archived, and it's really easy to navigate, and they've spent hours and hours and hours and days and days and days working on it. So check it out and let us know what you think because we would love your feedback.
Also, we love talking and gossiping about this stuff, so feel free to tweet us and comment. Even if you agree or disagree with us, we want to know what you guys are thinking, and we like to keep up the drama and the conversations over here.
For sure, for sure. Actually, somebody, let's give her a shout out. I'll bring up this tweet.
Oh, yeah. So what happened?
Because this is really interesting, actually.
Because they showed that in the preview, the whole Kim eating her placenta or whatever. Yeah. But I guess we haven't caught up to where she's going to have the baby
Okay, so
yet.
Laura, her last name, well, her Twitter name is Laura's Cookies. But yeah, she wanted to know, did Kim really eat the placenta? And I was listening to Mario Lopez does a morning radio show here in LA, or I think it's at the night, sometime on the radio. And he had a placenta expert come on. And they don't actually, like, when I hear somebody eating placenta, I think of, like, barbaric, like, you're eating placenta. But they, like, break it down and they, like, put it in pill form.
Oh.
So it's just, like, a pill you take. So it's not as gross as it sounds.
I was going to ask, like, oh, do you fry it up or, like,
yeah, that's what, no, honestly, that's what I thought. Put some mushrooms in it. Yeah. Like, so gross.
Make a dish out of it.
No, but I think you can, like, they break it up and you can take it over like the course of a week or a month or something, and it's just like a pill a day.
What is it supposed to do? Just make...
I think it makes you look younger.
Okay.
I don't know. Never had it.
Then I'm gonna guess that she did eat it.
I'm sure they'll cover it. I hope.
Yeah.
But it's like a new trend. People are eating placenta. So if you've ever eaten placenta, tweet at us and let us know how it tastes. We're dying to know.
And how you ate it.
Yeah.
All the details.
I like my placenta barbecue.
Yeah.
So gross. So let's talk really quick about Scott wanting to be a race car driver. Kourtney was like strangely okay with this at the beginning. And during Kourtney and Kim Take Miami, she was like so upset about it. So it was kind of interesting to see her be really good with it now when it used to be like a huge issue and they would fight about it.
Maybe she just gave up and she doesn't care anymore. She's like, oh, fine, if you just want to do it. Finally do it.
I think she's more stressed when she's not in LA. Like she just seems more zen and in her little eco-friendly organic mood.
Yeah.
When she's like,
home base.
Don't eat out of plastic. There's chemicals.
Go green.
Go green always. So Scott goes to racing school and nobody likes him.
For 5 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. So then he leaves racing school and the whole family is worried that Scott has social anxiety.
I felt like he was just nervous when he came in there because everyone else was in racing uniforms and stuff, and they looked like they were professional, kind of, like they've had way more experience.
Well, and they probably hate him showing up because they're like doing this like as a career and putting all their money and time in it, and he just wakes up one day and he's like, hey, I want to be a race car driver.
Shows up with a camera crew, sits in the back of the class.
And just pouts. So I think I'd probably be mean to him too.
I think it would be really fun to get into race car driving. I've never tried it before, but I can see why he has that like urge to do it. But I kind of wish he at least got in a car and tried it out before quitting. I mean, he flew all the way there and wanted to do that for so long.
With his friend Chapman, he did it a little bit in Miami. So that's why I was surprised that he just left too.
They've been talking about it for so long, how he wanted to get into it. I think he should get into it
I think so too, but it was kind of nice to see Kourtney be supportive of him after the fact, because I think usually she's the first one to throw him under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
But to be like, oh, it doesn't matter what people think, like, you just have to go out there and do that.
She's so funny.
It was a nice little touching moment. I know. They have such a weird relationship.
Like, he's so almost, like, overly loving when he sees her, like, hey, boo, how are you? And she's like, good. Like, doesn't even look up
Cooking
when he
my
comes
kale.
in. Like, whatever.
So
oh, you gave up? So what's the new hobby?
I know, it kind of seems like she's just unaffected by everything. Like, even when the show's going on, she's just cooking or, like, doing yoga or whatever. Like, not really in on anything.
Which is good for her. I mean, it sounds like fun.
And she's
Do
always in
yoga, hiking and
sweatpants. Or
stuff.
I love it.
But not like Rob.
No, not Rob
Like
sweatpants. Like, she's in
Lululemon.
sweatpants because she's working out.
Yeah.
Not because she's going to jail. I think that wraps up everything, though, right?
Yeah, pretty
Covered
much.
it all.
We
You wanna
got it
get into
covered.
some news and gossip?
AfterBuzz TV News.
So I didn't find that much news and gossip, but I immediately messaged Jason and Keaton when I saw on Facebook that Brody Jenner has a new girlfriend that looks kind of like me. My mom says, and so does Keaton. And so
It does.
I was thinking, like, well, if he has a type, I mean, he's already gone through, 10 others recently.
Get at me.
So
You
I'm
could
your
be
girl.
next.
I'll be here.
Do we know anything about her?
I looked her up and couldn't really find anything, but she's just...
Which is weird because normally he's like kind of a fame whore with who he dates.
Yeah, I
He's
didn't
dated Paris Hilton,
see anything
Nicole
on
Richie,
it.
Lauren Conrad, Kristen Cavallari. He still has an Avril Lavigne tattoo, which we found out he still has not gotten removed yet.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to mention that real quick. They were talking about their ex's tattoos at the dinner table for family dinner.
Because Rob has Adrian on his belly.
And I want to see that stomach tattoo now that he's gained weight. Is that bad?
I don't want to see it at all.
I want to see if it, like, stretched her face. Or... Wait, is it of her face?
I hope it's over. I hope it's like her in like her cheetah girl costume.
Because doesn't he also have his mom's face?
Or his
something?
dad.
Or
He has his dad's face.
He has faces all over his body.
So funny.
But I'm just wondering how those are going to stretch out if he's going to gain or lose more weight.
She's got like the Harry Potter scar across her forehead now from his stretch marks.
It's like, oh, that's on purpose. Voldemort.
So funny.
Not me.
Let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh. I've never heard it go that long. It's really scary.
Okay, so predictions. I feel like the whole Kendall and Kylie thing is gonna just keep going on because they're in high school, and I feel like they're gonna focus on it more because they're getting in that prime age where people like, ooh, hot young 20-year-olds, they're kind of like in that young age. So I feel like they're gonna keep focusing on that and bring back Bruce more. Bruce in this episode wasn't as prominent as the rest of
Which is
the
kind of nice
season.
because I've needed a break from Bruce.
Me too. And this episode he's kind of just like randomly in the background here and there, not as focused, which I like how they've been focusing on different characters each time. I really do want to see more of Khloe though, because she's the funny one and I like to laugh.
feel like it's her time. She's going to have an episode coming up centered around her because everybody's kind of had their own.
I want to see more pranks.
Yes, I love when she does that.
I love when they prank each other. Oh,
we're going to because she's going to TP the house next week.
last week you weren't here. I think this was last week's episode or the week before where Scott kept prank phone calling Kris. So I want to see if she ever figures out that it is Scott who's doing the prank phone calls. That never got wrapped up.
No.
So that's a hopeful
Cliffhanger.
prediction. Yes.
I feel like we are going to see, piggyback off of what you said, more of Kendall and Kylie fighting and kind of coming into their own, because I read on Perez Hilton the other day that they're using Bruce's bachelor pad as kind of like their party pad for the summer. So it'll be interesting to see how that all kind of pans out.
Must be nice.
I know. But guys, you can keep up with the Kardashians on E, and you can keep up with us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Vine and everything else. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Danica Kennedy. Danica spelled with a C, Kennedy like the president.
Ooh, I wish I had a fun name of saying mine. I'm at Jason Ikeler and all those things too. And we will see you guys in here next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.